Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. We're zooming in and focusing in a little bit more in depth, really on a great viewer comment, and that talks really about the pathological jealousy of someone who is narcissistic. And people always wonder, despite all their tells, despite all the red flags, is this individual truly jealous, or are they the person who does have it all? In other words, is there jealousy going on? For some reason, this is a big issue with a lot of people who have encountered a narcissist. And, whether they're jealous or not really is, an envy. And, I think it's more that they are insecure as to their own confidence and their own humbleness. Because they don't sort of have humility, because they're not humble, because they don't have empathy, they sort of go to the other side. They swing to the polar opposite. They become arrogant, full of themselves, acting out of entitlement. You might consider them snobbish, arrogant, conceited. These people then who become like bullies and act and treat you as if you don't have any feelings, that you don't have, any heart, that you don't have any sensitivity. So it's a really numbing out towards others that really presents as if they don't have any love, they don't have any humility, they don't have any empathy. And it's because they are lacking, they have a deficit of this. So they don't have a strong degree of empathy. In other words, if they have deserted you, abandoned you, criticized you, they don't have a sort of sensitivity. They're trying to sort of do you in as if you are the competition for airtime, listening time, topic time. The narcissist really, I think that they view others as sort of competition for their own slot, if that makes any sense. And so they're just sort of they're sort of a greed for attention, if you will. There's a greed for being center stage. There's a greed for them being the one and only, the solitary. I am the best. Okay, it's great to have that attitude, but it doesn't give you the right to mistreat or exploit others. And this oftentimes does present with which seems as pathological jealousy. And I think, it's not even, sure, they might be envious of you, but it means that they sort of want to consume you. They want to have what you have. So, but sometimes their lack of empathy doesn't put them in a position to quote unquote have what you have, to have the heart, to have the generosity, to have the humbleness, to have the humility, to have the love, to have the understanding, to have the empathy. So they're not really ever going to really have or possess this aspect. So that makes them very unique and individual. So, it's more that they're coming from this sort of deficit mentality, that they, are always sort of concerned or worried that they are not going to be, the number one, or that they're not going to be the best, or they're not going to accomplish. So they will oftentimes exploit others, be insensitive to others to achieve these ends. And it might really feel like jealousy. And a lot of times I think people who are in supply, they want to, a term, well, that's why it was, because they were jealous. They want something that they feel that they can relate to, but in my viewpoint, to me, it's more, that they lack empathy, they lack humility, they lack graciousness and gratitude for really what they have, including the people in their life, the objects in the life, their health in their life. So they sort of lose perspective. They lose timing. Oh, they will sort of work on that grandiosity until well into later age. And when it doesn't fulfill itself, then they, come crawling back to people, and, and they weren't all that they were cracking themselves up to be. So rather than really sort of like a pathological jealousy, I think it's more of sort of a greed, and to be, they just sort of, they're jealous of wanting more for themselves, including more of other people's attention. And because they sort of have this public persona, which means what they show to other people is if they have it all, and that's why they want others to sort of be jealous of them, and they will just and sort of put forth this persona. It's really kind of like the opposite. I think they want others to be envious and jealous, and so they want others to sort of be chasing after them, giving them compliments, living on that superficial edge. And a lot of people, they don't want to live on that superficial because to them it feels empty. They have empathy, they have a heart that needs to be activated and incorporated in the relationship. And then a relationship without heart is going to feel very empty, and it's going to come and create a deficit consciousness, and that's going to create this imbalance, and then this feeling of jealousy, it becomes a real deprecator, and a sort of, it causes the relationship to break down. That sort of greed, that lack of trust. So whether it's jealousy, you have to be very careful and not be naive to the cause that creates the effect, which is that they are lacking empathy and they have a pathological sense of self-importance. And it's not so much that they have a pathological envy of others, it's that they just have they don't have the humility, they don't have the humbleness, they don't have that sort of living in the heart and being able to learn from their lessons, because they feel above and beyond it, and so any lessons of change doesn't apply to them. So it becomes, it can cause, if you're in a relationship with them, your life can become very stagnant or feel like it's going backwards. So whether you feel that they're jealous or not, and you're looking for an easy explanation, don't worry about it. Just make sure that you continue to fill your cup and that you don't feel guilty about being yourself and being content. And because the narcissists, oftentimes they operate with such discontent that it seems like they're always more and more and more. And it's very difficult to always be on that track with them. What you might just find out is that, adrenaline, and that sort of lack of content is not your cup of tea. This is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. And I hope that these videos do help. Please share, please subscribe, and please donate for more great tools, videos, discussions, and support. Peace out. Have a beautiful day.